How about exasperation?
You know what that would be, right?
I do.
Okay. I can't even get it out.
Preemptive charge? Excuse me, sir. I'm not ready to check out. I'm still shopping. You can't charge me yet.
I'll pay that one.
All right. It's an exasperation sensation.
There you go.
Thank you, T in Oakland, who texted in Xfinity Mobile text line. Yeah, how are you feeling? What emotion? 707, feeling bloated after having a small pizza in San Bruno.
That can happen.
Not quite what I was talking about, but been there. Sure.
I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
San Bruno, one of the more underrated peninsula towns. I like the Bruno.
Absolutely.
Underrated, yeah.
Used to live in San Bruno for a minute.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's one of the first places I moved. Funny story, take 20 seconds.
All right, you're on the clock.
Count it.
All right.
Moved to San Bruno, and upon arrival, first time I'd ever driven one of them like U-Haul trucks, upon arrival, tried to pull into a parallel park right in front of my new place and just ripped the bumper right off of my neighbor's truck.
Oh, that's so great.
Hadn't even met him yet. Walked up. Hi, I'm your new neighbor. You might want to come outside and look at this. Unbelievable. Thank you. The guy was super, super nice.
Yeah.
But that was 100 years ago.
You're a better neighbor than I would have been.
No.
Throw that thing over the fence and just move on about my day.
Just break the lease. Just keep driving.
Oh, that's it. Find a new place to live. That'll do it. Anyway.
That would have been amazing. Anyway, yeah, it's been 30 years.
That was 45 seconds, by the way.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, no, but he timed some of it.
You got to plan for that.
No, like
Fair.
I told the story, and then once the conversation, I'm not responsible for the ensuing conversation. No, I'm sorry.
You do have to budget for a little bit more.
Yeah, no, but like if you fumble and then the other people all start batting the fumble all over the place, one of your teammates falls on it, it squirts out from under him belly. That's not my fault. I get one fumble.
Well, you fumbled.
My fault.
But if my teammate fumbles, then you fumble too.
Look, I'm trying to pick up after your fumble.
I understand. That's what you're supposed to
story
do
about
after
a bumper. I'm trying to help you out. Try to dive on that grenade.
Hey, it was worth it just for the laugh that you would have just moved again. That was pretty funny.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, like how does that grab you? It's been 30 years, and as you start the season, what emotion does that have you feeling? Let's talk to the people. Is it Mahmoud in San Francisco? Hi, Mahmoud. Thanks for calling.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
So I'm 37 years old, and I was 8 when they last won 30 years ago, and that was jubilation, obviously.
You know what that is?
But what?
It's a
never mind.
sensation.
Just keep
great.
going.
Sorry,
keep going.
Okay.
All right.
So now it's just frustration. It's like you've been to 2 Super Bowls, 3 overall in the past 10 years.
Yep.
And you can't get 1 Super Bowl in. It's like, come on.
It's
one.
It's worse than that, Mahmoud. It's worse than that because it's not just 3 Super Bowls. It's 3 unbelievably near misses.
That's also another good point. It's like if we were blown out, it would be like, okay, fine. Their team was better than ours. But we had the opportunity to literally win each one, and you couldn't pull out one of them? Come on. It's so frustrating.
So what are you feeling right now? What are you feeling about
frustration.
Frustration. Even to start the season. Frustration?
Yeah, because it's sort of like where we were in the 90s. You know, we had this great cast of players, yet we couldn't get over the hump against the Cowboys. And now we have this great cast of players, and we can't get over the hump and win the Super Bowl. It's like, are we just repeating ourselves? It's like, I don't care how good your players are. You got to win. That's it.
Mahmoud, thanks.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people feel that way, and I get it. You're not going to not feel at least some of that.
Yeah.
Even the most optimistic fan. At the same time, man, like I got to at least affix some value to the fact that they keep giving themselves chances.
There's great value in that. And I'd like to illustrate that with a stat that I have found on the internet. Most playoff wins since 1994.
Oh, in the last 30 years.
How many teams do you think rank ahead of the Niners in most playoff wins since 1994?
Since 1994, playoff wins. How many teams rank in front of the 49ers? It's definitely a number that's less than 5. I would say it's less than 5.
Sca-da-da-da.
Scanning. I'm going to say 1.
I'm terribly sorry. Thank you for playing,
How many
and
is it?
you'll get a copy of our home game on the way out the door.
I
The
love
correct
games
answer
at
is
home.
2.
Oh, well, I was
2.
pretty close.
Super close.
Obviously, it's the Patriots.
33 wins.
And who's the other
The
one?
Packers with 23 wins.
And how many do the Niners have?
The Niners have 20,
Oof, that's
tied
close.
with the Steelers.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm illustrating this is if you go down the list, Patriots, the leader, they've won 6 rings. The Packers are second. They've won 2. The Steelers are third, tied with the Niners, 20 wins. I think that they've won 2 since then. 1 for sure with Big Ben. I wasn't sure if the other one they won. The Steelers won.
That was just 1.
So they have the 1.
Yeah.
Okay. The Eagles have the 1. The Chiefs have 3. The Colts are next with 15. They've got 1. The Seahawks have got 14. They've got 1. The Broncos have 14. They've got 1. The Rams have 13. They've got 1. The Giants have 11. They've got a couple. The Buccaneers have 11. They've got 2.
But you got
the Saints have 10. They've
Right.
got 1.
Okay.
My point is, as you go down the list, everybody's got 1 until you get to the Panthers with 9 wins.
Yeah, so that's absurd, and that's where the frustration comes
Yeah,
from.
I was playing off of Mahmoud
no,
right
but
there.
there's another way to look at that. So, okay, 49er fans, would you rather be a Colt fan right now?
Right now, probably not.
You got your Super Bowl.
When was that? 2003?
Well,
Long time ago.
Okay, fine. Give me another one. Would you rather be a Saint?
7.
You want to be a Saint fan?
Probably not.
You want to be a Buck fan?
Bucks. I mean, Bucks win every 20 or so years now.
How long ago was the Bucks win? 3 years ago?
Yeah, and then we got one before that in that had to be 03.
Like I really think
Raiders.
I get the concept on your way in. I used to feel the same way as a Giants fan who grew up in the 80s and 90s where they were just largely, hey, 1989, I see you, 1993, but like largely the Giants stunk through my whole childhood. And I used to say that same thing. God, just give me one. Take it from someone who's now been around for 5 decades. That one doesn't last that long. The Giants, you have 3 in the last 14 years, and you're furious, and you've been furious for 5 years.
It's because of the way you're going about being the way you are.
Totally fair.
It's not just like, the fact that you haven't gotten it.
No,
it's the way you are.
But that's why I'm not
Billy Joel.
That's why I'm not that frustrated right now as a Niner fan. It's super frustrating that they haven't won the whole thing, but I'm not like ready to turn in my wings.
Agreed,
Like,
but the
come on.
frustration stems from, and I can't believe how far I had to go down the list. You have to get through the top 14 in playoff wins since 94 to get to a team that doesn't have one.
That's
what makes it so crazy.
No,
'cause
it's wild.
They all have them. And, the Ravens and, like you said, the Colts and even the Rams got one, picked one up. Tampa's got 2. The Giants have 2. It's crazy when you think. And then you get to the Cowboys with 9 playoff wins in 30 years, and they haven't even sniffed it.
Not even close. They barely won. How many? So 9 playoff wins?
They're 9-14 in the playoffs since 1994.
In the last 30 years.
Right, 9-14.
Okay. So they're averaging less than 1 playoff win every 3 years.
Correct. The Niners are 20-13 in the playoffs since then.
It's a lot of playoff wins without winning a Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
Where are the
It
Ravens
is.
on that list?
The
Dibs?
Ravens are 17-13. They're number 4, tied with the Eagles. Actually, number 5, tied with the Eagles.
And they have Super Bowl wins
2.
in 2000 and 2012. Every
Right.
12 years.
2
and it's now
rings.
2024.
Well, it's a great
Look at you.
organization.
Yeah.
It's a great organization. No question. Rick and Fremont on Willard and Dibs. Hi, Rick. What's good?
Hey guys, long time listener, first time caller. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
So I'll preface this that I'm a New York Giants fan, although I'm raising my 8-year-old and 4-year-old as 49ers fans because I want them to be connected to the community they're going to grow up in. And she's got a Kittle jersey and my younger one's got a Bosa jersey. I want the 49ers fans to be excited about this season. Take it from a Giants fan who's got his 2 rings in my lifetime, and I'm hanging on by a thread as far as my fandom is concerned for that team. It's just been abysmal. I cannot get excited about the team. I don't go on their website. I barely read their news. I cannot drag myself at 10 a.m. to a bar to go watch a hopeless game that they're going to play in. It is just abysmal on this side. Enjoy the year-in, year-out success that you guys are experiencing. I hope it continues. And at the end, I'll just end by saying RELAX. Relax.
Relax.
That's a great
That's a
payoff.
tremendous call.
It's a great payoff.
RELAX. Relax.
Yeah, although I don't really want to hear his voice right now until Tuesday when he
took his
leaves
time
town.
with it, though. The caller. That was great delivery.
No, that was really good.
Yeah.
And I think that he captured my overall point. Yes, the Niners not getting over the hump is frustrating, but there's no way in hell that it's worse than the feeling of arriving at week 1 and already knowing you out. Like, to me, no matter the sport, that's what I want to avoid. I never want my team on day 1 to be like, yeah, we got nothing.
Yeah, it's tough.
We got nothing for you. And that happens, to quite frankly, probably to most teams. The NFL is super fascinating because of its parity, the salary cap, all of that. But think about being a baseball fan where 60% of the teams aren't even trying. Being an NBA fan of a team in a smaller market. You're an Indiana Pacer fan. What are we doing for like ever? You're a Sacramento King fan. When is this ever going to actually be a thing where we're not just trying to make the playoffs? We actually have a shot to win the whole thing. That is not to be dismissed. And the 49ers offer that.
They do.
A great shot every year.
They got a shot. Yeah, but you don't have that sweet nectar of victory. And I thought Steiny's premise earlier today was flawed in that, the real, I think, measurement is you get a guaranteed title or you get 8 years of being in it, but guaranteed to not win it. So do you want 8 years of heartbreak or do you want the 1 year with the sweet nectar? It just depends on how you approach it. And I think about the 30 years since they last won, and there's been a mix of both. There have been years where you look at the team and you go, this team's got no shot. And then there are other years where you might make a run, and then you do, and then you fall short. So equally painful, the two different scenarios, but something about the heartbreak, it's become too familiar around here.
We're going to go back to the phones in a sec, but I had a different question off of that of that call. Is that good parenting or bad parenting? You're a Giants fan. You live in the Bay Area. You got 2 kids. You're raising them as 49er fans so that they can feel connected to their community as opposed to connected to dad.
Yeah, that's actually, I think that's great parenting.
You do?
Yeah, you connect to your community, your surroundings, and it's interesting that you put it that way because I raised my first 2 kids in Oakland, and so even though we weren't traditionally, my family, A's fans, we liked the A's. We'd go to A's games, but we weren't A's fans, but we raised our kids as A's fans because the community that surrounded us were A's fans. The Crawfords, the Whitakers, the Burrows, the Quintellas,
Of course.
went to a ton of games.
Remember them well.
We would posse up with them, roll down to the Collie, and so by proxy, we became A's fans. We tried to raise them as A's fans.
So
and when they became older, I forbid them to go to A's games based on the latest series of events.
Fair enough.
So we went full circle.
Well, I ask because if that's good parenting, I suck as a dad because I did the opposite, but word to the wise, because my kids were all born in L.A., and I told them 11 miles from Dodger Stadium, you bring that gear into my house, you find a new house. We're not doing that. I don't care where you live. You're a Giants fan if you want to be related to me. I didn't actually say it that way, but there's
adoption centers all over the Southland.
Well, it was also when they grew up. Like my oldest son was 3 when the Giants won their World Series. Steph Curry arrives. This guy thought championships just show up under the Christmas tree on an annual basis. So they got really into it. But then what happened, and this is my worry for a New York Giants fan who's raising Niner fans. What if you get a job in New York? What if you move your family to New York? Now what? Because that's what happened. I finally got to come back home, and now the family lives here, and they've been born, bred Niners, Giants, and Warriors fans.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't come down to good parenting, bad parenting.
Okay, just checking.
It just depends on how you want to do it, and you clearly are the kind of parent where it's going to be, this is the team that we're going to support as a family, and you're on board. You're with me or you're against me. And other parents do things differently, and many people end up switching fandoms. And for me, it's okay if you want to switch it up. It's your choice. You get to decide what you want to watch, what you want to cheer for, what you want to support. etc. Nobody can put you in a box as a fan. That's ridiculous.
You call him GPD. I call him Tracy. Hey, Tracy.
You won't.
Is that you?
Yeah, you guessed it, Tracy Ansar Greenwell.
I had a feeling.
He sleuthed it out, GPD, because I was openly wondering if you actually had a name.
Hey, actually, Dibs, you gave me the name.
Yeah.
Grandpa Daddy. That's for the record. And another for the record, Mark, please tell the lovely Chrissy I wasn't pawning my daughter off on her. Wait, hold on. You got to hear this out.
I'm okay.
Now, when we came up, my daughter and her just like, they were like girl power love. And I was just like, wow. Because my daughter, if she don't like you, I don't like you. Right? They can feel that aura. She has such a lovely aura. It's a compliment.
No, GPD.
So when we were sitting there.
Yeah. I was just I know, but
hear me out.
No, but I was poking fun. I know that you didn't do that. Okay. All right, go ahead.
But I want to explain it. So while we're sitting there, and you're right, my daughter can sit there for an hour, just give her some crayons and a scratched piece of paper, and you ain't got to worry about it. Boys are completely different. You're right, totally. Right. And then I was like, I'm going to open up a bank account. Dibbers, you really made me. I said, hey, local, free my bank. And I said, Chris, the lovely Chrissy, can you watch her real quick? I'm going to go open up an account. And then she was like, oh, well. And then Bonte brought her kid over. My kid was there first, and I didn't want to lose my seat. That's why. So, and I want to say, hey, I'm a 49er fan, and I became one after that Dwight. I used to be a Cowboys fan, and after that Dwight Clark catch, I converted, bro.
Whoa, this changes everything, Grandpa Daddy. I don't know whether to hug you or never take your call again. You used to be a Cowboy fan?
I'm sorry, but that's a long time ago, man. You got to come on, give me a break now.
All right,
that was what, 87? What was that?
The catch? No, that was 1982.
Was that 82?
1982. Yes, my God. They beat the. Are you ready to feel old? They beat the Bengals 26-21 on my 7th birthday.
Oh my God.
Yep. Grandpa Daddy brought his daughter over to lovely Christy, and she said, Fremont Bank, no compromises.
Wow.
Absolutely not. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. GPD, thank you for calling.
He's an original.
Michael in Palo Alto. Hi, Michael. We're asking what emotion. It's been 30 years. So that leads to the start of this season. How would you describe the emotion that you're feeling about the 49ers to start the year? Hey, Michael.
What's going on, guys, man? So this is my perspective. So I was born in 1995. I'm a 49ers, A Sharks, and Sacramento Kings fan. So I've never experienced a championship. So on one hand, a championship and 8 years of garbage. I mean, that sounds like a pretty even trade-off. But also, as a Kings fan who had, we had a 17-year playoff drought, and most recently the San Jose Sharks, who have just been god-awful the past 3 seasons. I would be pissed in rainbows if the Sharks had a first-round exit right now. So for me, it's just, I think it's about appreciating the moment, the greatness, the opportunity for my favorite teams to compete for a championship. But I mean, I would be lying to myself if I said I didn't feel a black hole of emptiness for my ringless fandom.
Michael, how old did you say you are? How old?
Just turned 29.
Just turned 29. Man. Okay, Michael, thank you. I have to admit our privilege. Not only the 3 teams I love the most have I watched them win a championship, I've watched all 3 have a dynasty.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's really good.
That's absurd.
Well, you're old
like,
enough to where, that could possibly happen. But if you think about all the dynasties since we were kids.
Yeah, where else
we'll go
does
back
that
to
happen?
1980. Well,
give me another city that's had
in the last, let's call it 50 years.
Okay.
Because I'm in my mid-50s
right.
and you're knocking on 50's door.
Stop it.
Knock, knock, knocking on 50's door.
Every day gets closer. By the way, that's
yes,
Super
sir.
Bowl. That's Super Bowl. That's Super Bowl. I'll be 50 for it. If the Niners are in it, I'll be 50
And
for
that
it.
will have been 43 years since the Niners won their first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you'll get there, Grandy. You can go ahead and stay out of this convo because we're going back to like 1980. But if you think about total dynasties since then in all sports, I don't know if any city had more than one because Boston has the Patriots.
Boston has the Patriots, and they had, you wouldn't call it a dynasty, but didn't the Red Sox win 2 in like 3 or 4 years?
Sounds right. The Yankees had one. The Yankees had a little run.
No, but dynasties since the 80s. What do we got? We got Lakers.
And you've got the Bulls and the Warriors and the Spurs.
And the Spurs.
Lakers, Spurs, and Warriors.
That's 4 different cities.
Yeah.
Do any of them? San Antonio does not have a corresponding team.
Nope.
Los Angeles did not have a corresponding team, nor have their football teams done anything since
Dodgers,
then.
Rams,
other than Rams have 1 Super Bowl. Dodgers have a plucky little third of a championship. That was fun. So that's a no.
Yep.
Boston is certainly the closest. The Celtics have had championship seasons, including this one. You've got the Patriots. The Sox have won a couple.
Yeah, but no dynasty.
No dynasty outside of the Patriots. And then that's it, right?
Pretty much.
Warriors, Niners, Giants.
Yep. Well, football, Kansas City, but they
Kansas
don't
City,
have,
yes.
The Royals have just, the Royals have the one.
And they don't have hoops.
Right. So, and, Niners, Giants, Warriors. Boom,
So,
boom, boom.
I'd argue
That's pretty special.
yeah, and maybe that's why you hear me sound like I do sometimes. Like, oh my goodness.
Well, you sound like you do because that's you.
Yes, I know.
But I do think that you are tapped into that side of your fandom to where you have a greater perspective for the G. Willikers beef.
Yeah,
Things have been pretty swell around here.
Look, yes and no.
And I
yes
admire
and
that
no.
because I default to the negative
Well,
more
but
often.
I have gratitude for where we've been. It doesn't stop me from come on, man. Is anybody like Bonte and Joe been running around with the Trey Lance video and replaying it throughout the summer all they could, which is fun because they're like, dude, we really wore the L. Has anybody worn a bigger L than me with Farhan Zaidi?
I would say their Trey Lance was a bigger L than yours and Farhan.
There was more bluster in the moment about it, but it was also like one camp. I did the Farhan dance for 4 years.
You did, and that's a big L. But I don't know. I don't want to compare L's.
But my point is like
I know what your point is.
I can be thankful. I can be thankful for where we've been. The fact that I've seen multiple championships in the dynasty for all 3 of my teams. But I can sit here in a moment and tell you things aren't good right now.
Exactly. You're aware that things need to be better for that particular organization, but you also have great perspective of just how lucky we've been across 3 sports and, by the way, 3 different decades virtually.